A new playbook for science, the Tech Labs initiative. Alright, let's get right into it because something huge, and I mean really huge, is going on right now in American science. We are talking about a fundamental change in how we plan to fund the next internet, the next transistor, the next massive breakthrough. This is a whole new playbook. You know, for decades, America has basically been the innovation engine for the entire world. I mean, just think about it. We're talking about everything from airplanes and transistors to cryptography and the internet itself. These weren't just tiny improvements, right? They were gigantic leaps that completely reshaped our world, all coming out of this incredibly powerful R&D ecosystem. But doesn't it feel like something's changed recently? Like the pace of those truly mind-blowing, game-changing discoveries has kind of slowed down. We're getting lots of small steps, sure, but where are the giant leaps? So it makes you wonder, is our innovation engine stuck in second gear? And if it is, what's the deal? Well, to figure that out, we've got to look at the system itself. And let's be crystal clear, this is not about our scientists. They are as brilliant as ever. No, this is about the rules of the game they had to play, and specifically, how we actually fund their work. So here's how it usually works. Big agencies like the National Science Foundation or the National Institutes of Health, they mainly fund specific projects. That means a scientist has to write this incredibly long, super detailed proposal for just one experiment with these really rigid goals. And if they are one of the lucky few who actually gets the grant, well, it comes with a mountain of paperwork and a ton of strings attached. And this line right here is gets to the absolute heart of the problem. On the left, you've got the old way, funding projects. It's slow, it's bureaucratic, and here's the real kicker. Because it demands success at every little milestone, it actually discourages taking big risks. You end up just proposing stuff you already know it's going to work. You play it safe. But then look at the other side, funding organizations. It is the total opposite. It's fast, it's flexible, and it's all about trusting great researchers to go after the big, risky, high-reward ideas. And look, this isn't just some academic theory. There's a real efficiency gap when you compare government-managed research to privately managed research. You see a difference in speed and agility. This gap exists because the current system often puts all these layers of bureaucracies between the money and the actual scientists who are doing the work. So what's the fix? Well, it's actually a refreshingly simple idea, but it's a powerful one. What if instead of funding a million little projects buried in red tape, we just started funding the organizations, find the best teams, give them the money, and then get out of their way? I love this analogy. It just hits the nail on the head. You would never make Steph Curry in NBA write a 50-page report explaining every single shot he plans to take, right? No way. You hire him because he's one of the best in the world. You give him the ball and let him do his thing. It's the same idea here. You never dream of funding a world-class violinist for every single note they play. Can you imagine the paperwork? Of course it does, because we don't do that. We fund the entire orchestra. We invest in the whole institution, the whole team. We trust their collective talent to create something amazing. So, why shouldn't we do the exact same thing for our best scientists? And there's a key concept for this idea. It's called embedded autonomy. Really, all it means is that the people who know the research best, the scientists in the lab, are the ones who control the funds. So if they get some wild, unexpected result, they can trace that lead immediately. They don't have to stop everything and ask for permission, a process that could take months. It, it's about letting science move at the speed of discovery. This has led to a whole new type of institution, the Focused Research Organization, or FRO for short. You can think of them like a startup, but instead of chasing profits, they are chasing one huge scientific challenge for the public good. They are purpose-built to tackle those massive, ambitious goals that don't really fit neatly into a university lab or a typical for-profit company. Okay, so this is where things get really exciting. All this stuff we've been talking about, it's not just a cool theory anymore. It's not just some idea sitting in a thinking tank report. It's actually happening in the real world right now. Get this, the National Science Foundation, the NSF, just announced a brand new program called the Tech Labs Initiative. This is it. This is the US government officially putting this new playbook into action. Fund organizations, not just one-off projects. Now, this didn't just pop up overnight. This is the result of years of hard work and thoughtful research by groups like the Day One Project and the Institute for Progress. They are the ones who really hammer out these ideas and advocated to make them a reality. And we are not talking about small change either. The plan is to give these teams somewhere between 10 and $15 million per team per year. That's a massive sustained investment. That's the kind of long-term funding you need to go after the really big, hairy, audacious scientific goals. And the NSF is super clear about why they're doing this. I mean, just listen to this quote. The whole point is to give these teams the freedom and flexibility to pursue breakthrough science at breakneck speed. It's all about freeing scientists from that endless soul-crushing cycle of writing grant after grant. What's so wild is how closely this new Tech Labs program follows the original plan laid out in those policy papers. The idea was always a two-step process. First, run a pilot program with some philanthropy partners to see what works. Second, have the government step in with long-term stable support for the most successful ones. And that is exactly the journey we are seeing play out. It's pretty amazing to see an idea go from a report to reality like this. So what's next? This is a huge, bold experiment, and whether it succeeds in the long run really depends on how we tackle some pretty interesting new questions that come along with it. And here's one of my favorites, and it might sound a little strange at first. The question is, what is the optimal rate of failure? Yeah, you heard me right. It's a bit counterintuitive, but this question gets right to the core of what this whole new model is trying to do. Just think about it for a second. If every single one of these new tech labs succeeds and hits every single one of their goals, well, that probably means the goals weren't ambitious enough to begin with. It means they were playing it safe. When you are trying to do something truly new, something revolutionary, failure isn't just a possibility. It's a sign that you are actually pushing the boundaries of what we know. And of course, there are other big questions we'll need to figure out, like how do these new labs fit in with our amazing university system? How do you even measure success if it's not just about how many papers get published? And could other government agencies like the NIH or the Department of Energy try this out too? Answering this is going to be crucial for what American R&D looks like for decades to come. But at the end of the day, it really all boils down to this one big question. We are watching in real time an experiment to see if we can reboot America's innovation engine. It's a bet on trusting our best and brightest, a bet on funding orchestras instead of industrial individual note. And if that bet pays off, well, we might just be setting the stage for a whole new symphony of incredible, world-changing American inventions.